Here's a quick list of milestones for children ages 3 to 4 years old. For speech and language, they answer simple who, what, when, where, and why questions. They talk about events at school, childcare, or a friend's house. The unfamiliar people understand their speech. Most utterances have 4 or more words with basic rules of grammar. They tell stories, and speech is usually smooth and flows without repeating any syllables or words. For sensory, they hear someone call him or her from another room. The television and or radio is able to be heard at the same volume as other family members. Fork and spoon skills continue to improve, but may still need reminders to use utensils to eat, and they drink from an open cup with almost no spilling. For social and emotional, they're interested in new experiences, they cooperate with other children, they role-play mom and or dad, they become more inventive in fantasy, play, example having an imaginary friend, they dress and undress, they try to solve conflicts with negotiation, they follow adult requests, and they can identify emotions in self, like happy, sad, mad, or silly. For cognitive, they can name some colors, they understand counting and may even know a few numbers, they follow a 3-part direction, they recall parts of stories, they understand the concepts of same and different, and they begin to have a clearer sense of time. Sample today, tomorrow, now, or later. For gross motor skill, they hop on one foot, they stand on one foot, they go up and down stairs without help, they kick ball forward, they throw balls overhand, they catch ball most of the time, and easily moves forward. For fine motor skills, they draw a person with a few body parts. They use scissors to cut paper, they draw circles, they begin to copy some capital letters, zip zippers, and fasten large buttons.
Well, hi! Now you know what to expect of your 3 and 4-year-olds. Ever wonder why YouTube is so hypnotic for the kids? Especially your 4-year-olds and below? I've seen even 3-month-old babies who will just stare right into YouTube's eyes without blinking their eyes. That's a little bit spooky, don't you think? Well, which is why I came up with these videos to reach those who are about 3 and 4-year-olds, which is usually the nursery and the pre-kindergarten ones. Yes, they may be able to eventually sit down and stay attentive in a normal face-to-face school up, but that will have to wait a bit, especially at this time where the setup is like we have right now. So let's not force our 3 or 4-year-olds to listen to teacher incessantly call out his or her name about 70 to 75% of the 1-hour class. Well, that's if they stay seated for that whole 1 hour. We at the Homeschool Advantage with Teacher Jing have created videos 20 minutes and below, which are translated to, let's say, about plus 15 minutes more of work time for the 3 activities and the 20 minutes, so about 35 minutes of class time with pre-cut, pre-prepared lovingly by Teacher Jing activities, so that they are trained to, number 1, for their social, emotional aspect. They train to clean up after themselves, they pack away, and for their speech and language aspect, well, they answer the who, what, when, where, why questions that Teacher Jing is so kulit about. Yeah, and then with the sensory aspect, we hit and differentiate real from pretend. Just like saying, 1 minute Teacher Jing is a, and 1 minute she's a. So yeah, these things are practiced in the homeschool advantage with Teacher Jing. So let's move on to the cognitive aspect of it all. They recognize colors and they recall parts of the stories, especially during story time, story time, story time, story time, story time, story time. And then for gross motor and fine motor skills, they do these little activities with picking up poster colors like this and coloring, and they glue, and they use their little fingers. They get dirty and they get all messy, and then they clean up after themselves. Pack away, everybody pack away. So these hit the gross motor skills and the fine motor skills that eventually will help them as they learn to cut and they learn to write properly. Tips like holding the pencil like this, tripod grip, not like this, and never the palmar grip, which is usually the case for your 3 and 4 year olds. So you see, there will never be any danger of them walking away from the screen because their hands, their minds, and their eyes will be busy focusing on the things that they will be doing. And every once in a while, we have graphics like popping a balloon like this, or maybe pulling out a duck like this, or just random things that pop out of their videos. So, yep, their eyes will be glued to Teacher Jing. They will be busy learning. And that is the beginning of readiness, whether they start school in a normal setup, or yes, when later on they move on to online live schooling. So now you know how beneficial this is for your 3 and your 4-year-olds, which are the nursery and the pre-kindergarten. Then I hope you would really give it a thought to join in and hop along on our learning wagon. This is Teacher Jing, and I believe that I am wonderful, I am awesome, and I am loved. Goodbye.